Alright, boys and girls, today's lesson is lesson 5-6, partial products multiplication part 2. Yesterday you started part 1. Basically part 2 is just going to be an extension of yesterday. I'm going to give you some more problems. You're going to work on them on your own, and then you'll unpause the video to watch and see if your answers were correct. So, using partial products, we learned yesterday is that when you take two numbers and multiply it by a single digit number, partial products, basically it takes 30 and 7. It turns it to you use your expanded notation, and expanded notation is 30 and 7. 37 is actually 30 plus 7. So you could rewrite it as 30 and 7, and then you would take each of these two numbers here and multiply it by the other factor, which would be times 2 and times 2, and then you get their answers. But of course what you want to do more importantly is line it up. So 2 times 3 is 6, put the 0 back on, 7 times 2 is 14. Then you would add these together, because these right here are the partial products. Okay, it's not the whole answer, they're the partial answer, so the partial products. And now when you add the two together, it gives you 74. This is the actual product of this question right there. So I'm going to give you a few through this whole lesson, and I'm going to let you work on them on your own, and then when you unpause it, you'll be able to, I'll go over the answers with you. So let's start with a fresh board here. And we'll start with a couple easy ones. I'll do a 2-digit by 1-digit for you. Let's do 47 times 8. And I'll do another one over here on the side. Let's do 39 times 4. So why don't you pause it and work on these two on your own. And then when you're done and you think you have the correct answer, unpause it, and then you'll find out. Alright, so using expanded notation, we'll take 47 and make it 40 and 7. Multiply each of these digits, or each of these numbers, by the other factor. So you'll multiply each by 8. So 40 times 8, well, let's see, the 4 times the 8 equals 32. Then you put that 0 back on. It'll give you 320. 7 times 5 is 56. And the most important thing here is you line it up correctly when you're adding it. So make sure that the ones are in the ones digit, the ones place, the tens are in the tens place, and the hundreds are in the hundreds place. Then you just add it. Of course, you add right to left. So 0 plus 6 is 6. 2 plus 5 is 7. 3 with nothing there equals 3. So this will equal 376. Next one, 39 times 4. And I forgot something on the last one. Let's do a quick ballpark estimate. 39 is close to 40 and 4. So you get 4 times 4 is 16. Put the 0 back on. It's actually 160, so our answer should be close to 160. So using expanded notation, I'm going to turn 39 into 30 and 9. Same thing. I'm going to multiply each of these by the other factor. Multiply them each by 4. So 30 times 4, well, we know 4 times 3 is 12. Then you put that 0 back on. And 9 times 4 is 36. Make sure you line it up correctly. 0 plus 6 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. Put the 1 all down by itself. Gives you 156. If you look at your ballpark estimate, you are close to 160. So that should be, so that right there tells you that your answer probably is correct or real close to being correct. Let's get rid of these. And I'm going to make them a little bit harder for you. Yesterday, in yesterday's lesson, I didn't put any 2-digit by 2-digit up there, but we did some in small groups. So let's do 27 times 16. Okay, you know 27 expanded notation is 20 and 7. Well, this 20 will multiply with that 1, and this 7 will multiply with that 1. But we also need this 20 to multiply with the 6, and the 7 to multiply with the 6. So we're going to have to do expanded notation again to give you 20 and 7. And this is why. Because this 20 here is multiplied by this 10. This 1 in the tens place is a 10. So the 7 has to also multiply by that 10. But we have another digit here. So we would take 20, multiply it by 6, because the 6 is in the ones place, and then we do the 7, multiply it by 6. And then over here we get our partial products, and there'll be 4 of them this time, and you'll add them all together. So the most important thing is to line them up correctly. 20 times 10 is 2 times 1 equals 2, with the 2 zeros. 7 times 10 is 70, you should all know that. And see how I'm lining them up correctly now, so it'll be easy to add at the end. I'll put these lines here to help you understand of where you should be lining them up. 20 times 6 is 2 times 6 is 12, and then the 0 at the end. 7 times 6 is 42. Then you add all these together to give you 2. 9, 13, carry the 1, 2, 3, 4. Give you 432. I actually forgot to do the ballpark estimate. Let's see that real quick here. 27 is close to 30. 16 is close to 20. Let's do 3 times 2 equals 6 with the 2 zeros equals 600. So that tells you it should be somewhat close to 600. 432 is really not that close to 600, but that's okay because we rounded up on each of those. So naturally the number is going to be a decent amount bigger. Okay, so now I want you to try one on your own with a 2-digit by 2-digit. Let's do 56 times 14. So I want you to make sure you do expanded notation twice, because there are 2 digits over here. So you're going to need to do it twice. Okay, so I'm going to let you pause it and try to do it on your own. Okay, well hopefully you took 50 and 6 and multiplied each of those by 10, because of this digit right here is actually a 10. And then you have to do 50 and 6 and multiply them each by the 4 and get your 4 partial products. 50 times 10 is 5 times 1 is 5. Bring your 2 zeros over. I'm going to write nice and neat over here so that you can line it up correctly. 6 times 10 is 60. 50 times 4 is 5 times 4. I'll give you the 20. Put the 0 back on. 6 times 4 is 24. Add it all together. There's your zeros. 4, 6, 2 is 8. 5 and 2 is 7. Gives you 784. Once again, I forgot to do the ballpark estimate, but 56 is close to 60. We're going to multiply it by 14, which is close to 10. 6 times 1 is 6 with the 2 zeros. 600. Once again, we're way off, but you're rounding up on one and down on the other, so it's a big difference. So let's do another one up here, and I'm going to do a different way for you to help you maybe understand, maybe see this a little bit clearer. Let's do 37 times 25. First of all, let's do our ballpark estimate. 37 is close to 40. We would round 25 up to 30. Once again, rounding up, so that ballpark estimate is probably going to be a chunk bigger than our actual answer. 4 times 3 is 12. We've got our 2 zeros. So our answer should be somewhere in the ballpark of 1200. So this is how another way to do the same thing of expanded notation, but if you just draw arrows, take 3 times the 2 and 3 times the 5, then take 7 times the 2 and 7 times the 5. That always helps too, because this tells you by the amount of lines you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that you drew. So that tells you should have 4 partial products. Let's do the first one. Let's do 3 times 2, which isn't 3 times 2, it's actually 30 times 20, because that 2 is in the tens place and this 3 is in the tens place. 30 times 20, and my second line is 30 times 5. Next we'll take 7, multiply that by the 20, and then 7 multiplied by the 5. So 30 times 20 equals 3 times 2 with 2 zeros. 30 times 5 would be 15 with 1 zero. 7 times 20 would be 14 with 1 zero. 7 times 5 is 35. You'd add them all together. Give you 5. That would give you 9, 12. Carry the 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. 925. And like I said, it's a ways off, but at least you're close to the same place value. This is in the thousands. This is almost to 1,000, so you're pretty close. So I'm going to put a couple more up here for you to work on your own, and however you want to work on it. If you want to draw the arrows like I did here, or if you want to do the expanded notation twice, then you can. I'll give you a couple here, then we're going to talk about a quick hard one at the end. So we'll do 51 times 43, and you were going to do 27 times 11. So I want you to pause it and work on these, and then unpause it, and hopefully you've done it correctly. Alright, let's do this with the arrows. We'll do the 5 times the 4, and 5 times the 3, and then 1 times the 4, 1 times the 3. So the 5 times the 4 is 50 times 40, and then 50 times 3. The next one is 1 times 40, and 1 times 3. It's kind of easy. 50 times 40 is 20, with 2 zeros, so it's 2,000. 50 times 3 is 15, with 1 0. 1 times 40 is 40, 1 times 3 is 3. Add it together, 3, 9, 1, 2, 2,193. Next one I'm going to do with the expanded notation, 20 and 7, 20 and 7, because we have 2 digits over here. Multiply by 10 and 10, and then 1 and 1. So you have 200, 70, 27. Off the board over here, that gives you 7, 9, 2. 297. So hopefully you have a better understanding of the partial products. Next up is lattice. I'm really excited for that. So hopefully we'll get this down.